Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel, where we create visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decision for your application. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, so here we have this residential application. We have this covered patio area, and there's a fireplace over here, so I have it set up just as a reclining space here. We do have a couple of doors that actually swing into the residence. That's important so that we are not impeding on the clearances to combustibles. You might note that I'm not a structural engineer, nor am I in the construction business. So I just have some rafters up here, but there's some probably blocks or something of that nature, and this ceiling probably comes down more uniformly. But in any case, the distances and the square feet, that's what really matters in the heating design itself. So let's go ahead and just look at the overall dimensions I have here. I have 24 feet by, and that's to the outside edge here, to the outside edge here, and by 23 feet to the same spot here to the wall back here. I do have a ceiling height of approximately, what is that, 11 feet 8 inches, and then this bottom beam, I have it set up at 9 feet 3 inches. The width of this flat ceiling portion I have at just at 9 feet 10 inches, it looks like. Let's go here a little closer. All right, so I think, yeah, 9 feet 10 inches, and yes. And there is a slope section here. I'm not sure if there's a slope section on this side here. There is a portion of the rooftop that is slanted in on this side here, so I'm not quite sure how that works into the construction part of it, but we'll see what we can do here. So I'm looking at this as a, also I should mention, I don't know of any fans or ceiling lights or locations of that kind of stuff. So if you are sending some information in to us and you want us to work around those items, you need to make sure that you present that information to us as well. So all right, so what I've done here is I've made this the center point of the patio, seeing that it is a fireplace, and there are a couple of options here we can look at. So let's look at option number 1, and this would be my preferred option. And what that would be is to take 4 of the 6,000 watt units and place them approximately a few inches from the edge over here, so that we're meeting all the clearances. I'm not quite sure what this true distances are and the slope itself here. Well, I did get the information of the ceiling slope, and that I matched that pretty well, I think. So we want to make sure that we're keeping our clearances over here. So there's a couple inches off on the edge of this bracket here to the center of the heater, let's say. And I believe these heaters are approximately 9 feet 2 inches, something of that nature. Let's see here. 9 foot 1.5, but it could actually be, it's not actually 9 and 1.5, but it actually could be 9 feet center to center, and that'd be fine. I just placed them here because of this construction itself. I was working things around. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, so I'll just go 9 feet center to center on that. Let's go ahead and look at the clearances below the heater. You can see with that there's no issues in the placement of the units itself. And now we'll go ahead and look at the overall footprint of heat. And with 4 units placed vertically above this whole space here, you can see that we are covering the space, I would say, fairly well, with mostly an even coverage throughout the whole space. That's the most important part, and that's why this is probably my favorite of all of these 3 examples here. You can see that the heaters themselves are at approximately 11 foot off the ground. That's why I'm going to use a 6,000 watt unit. This is a CD6024 at 25 amps each unit. So you want to make sure that you have that information. And let me turn that off here. I think that's about it. This is appropriate for seating space. If you're standing here, you're going to be a little bit hot if it's more than a few minutes. If you wanted to, you could use a control system so that you can actually dim the heaters down from the 6,000 watt down, in power from 1% on to 100% on. And that would give you some flexibility based on how you're going to utilize this space during the different years in the season. So I believe this is in Tennessee, so this is going to be a cooler temperature in the winter. So that's another reason you want to go ahead and make sure that you do use 6,000 watt units at this elevation. All right, let's see if there's anything else. I think that's about it. You know, if there are fans here in the middle, that would be okay, I believe. If there's lighting, you know, fixtures that are offset from the heater themselves, that would also be okay, even if there's some lighting fixtures over here. What you don't want is you don't want the fan blades to be impeded by this 18-inch clearance, which is from this edge of the heater to the right-hand side here, all the way out 18 inches. Let's see if I can get back in there. All the way out to 18 inches, and then it'd be 36 inches below would be the clearance. And that's true on all four sides, that 18-inch clearance. So bear that in mind if you are putting some sort of fixture up here. All right, and that would be to combustible materials, by the way. And okay, let's go ahead and see what another option would look like. Now this is an option that I think would look better because you could recess this. So it would be the, and I didn't cut these out themselves. The heater themselves are physically in there. You can see the whole heater itself is in there, but just for demonstration purposes, I didn't want to cut this out and make it look like there's a big hole there for some reason. So anyways, there's two 6,000 watt units in flush mount kits. Also, they would have to be built within the rafter system here. So you want to make sure that the rafter system, you know, here's a rafter, let's say. I have them at 16-inch centers, that it does meet the clearances here so that you can actually fit this 1 hour rated drywall box that would be required to place inside of the heater itself. So bear that in mind. And I also have these at 9-foot center to center as well, and this time it's exactly 9-foot center to center. Now I'm not quite sure where the rafter system actually meets, but you know, let's see if, you know, here you can see obviously the rafter is hitting the box, so it would have to either move the rafter and redesign the structure, or move the heater a few inches over to the left or right. All right, I like to have them centered though. Again, they're centered within the fireplace, so that's very important to me. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat with just 2 units. 2 units here, you can see with a little bit higher of an elevation, I'm going up another about 9.5 inches. You know, our coverage is becoming a little bit less. Now I still think this is good for this environment in colder days. Now it's not going to warm you up, and neither is the last example when it's below 40 degrees or even 50 degrees. I would say most people would be comfortable in the 55 degrees and up with this, either one of these style of heating systems. So just bear that in mind. Now some people are acclimated to different temperatures and they feel more warm. They'll feel more comfortable at colder temperatures than I or you might. So bear that in mind. It does work well though in that 55 degree plus weather. All right, so that would be option 2. And then finally, let's go into the final option, which is probably my least favorite option, but placing, some people like to see the heaters on the outer edge. So this on the perimeter, we do need again to, you know, meet those clearances. Let's see here. So this yellow portion here would be the clearances to any combustible materials. I know these rafter systems that I have here are not designed right, so just bear that in mind. Whatever that clearance needs to be, it needs to be at least 6 inches. If you mount it on this beam here, it would be a little bit lower, and you can mount it vertically, change the angle up to 60 degrees, and that would be fine. I have these at a 15 degree off of this slope here angle, so the heater is meeting the same slope as the ceiling, and then I have it coming another 15 degrees inward. So now what you can see here is that the coverage in the middle, even though these rays will continue to travel until they are absorbed into mass, that being tables, chairs, floors, the human body, it's not the ideal amount of heat for this distance it has to travel. So that's why this is my least favorite. However, your seating might be a little bit different, and you know, if it's more in the perimeter, let's say, you know, I'm going to just try to move this one chair here. You know, if it's over to the let's just go to the right here a little bit. You can see now you're in the perfect spot for that particular space of seating. So bear that in mind as well. Depending on how your seating is arranged, it might be acceptable to you. Also, if you were to use seating right here below the heater, just note that you will be warmer here than you will be out over here. Last thing I would say is, again, 6,000 watt units. If you really want to control the system throughout the season real well, then please consider using a control panel where you can control it from 1% on to 100% on, just because you can fluctuate it based on the environment for that day. All right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve, and kindly hit that like button down below. YouTube does not promote our channel, and the only way that people can find our channel is by more and more people giving us a thumbs up. That way you can find me, they can find me, and we can help out more people make their decisions. Thank you very much. Have an excellent day.